Hey there, I'm Katsumi, and this is a collective reading, so please take what resonates and leave the rest behind. So right now I'm feeling a very clinical, sharp, and cleansing energy today, okay? And right now the word coming through is detox. You are clearing out the dead weight, and the universe is about to fill that empty space with something far more valuable. Now let's find out what other messages are coming through. So starting off, you're in some sort of mindset, okay? Maybe you were or you are currently in terms of lingering energies, okay? Something to do with a soul tie, not having closure with a certain person or certain individuals, okay? I'm also hearing something along the lines of never really getting over it, along the lines of never really over it. So I'm hearing getting over it. It's like it's kind of hard to disconnect, but it's kind of like you need to do it. It's like almost like a radical purge, if I'm like hearing that correctly, okay? You start off in this position of the Three of Wands, okay? Something to do with you expanding, growing from a certain relationship, certain connection, okay? Because you really had to put up your guard with the Seven of Wands. It feels as though you had to protect your peace, you had to protect your space, clear out certain situations, certain I heard certain entities, okay? Maybe you're battling off, okay, demonic forces at this time. Demonic forces that are appearing within people, okay? Appearing within certain environments you're traversing through is what I'm hearing there, okay? It feels as though you're kind of doing this on your own accord, okay? It feels like you need to almost like, I don't know why I heard the word backlash, but I'm also hearing like shaky backlash, something along the lines of something that's very uncomfortable, okay? It's like you had to stop and negotiate for your own accord, okay, with people, with environments that were requiring you almost to shrink, okay? Shrink your light, shrink who you were, shrink you so that in order to make them feel comfortable is what I heard, okay? Something to do with compulsion, okay? Bad decisions, doing it again, oops. It feels like almost like people-pleasing tendencies, okay? Something to do where you felt like you were in stagnation, tolerating stagnation for a long period of time. It kind of also gives this vibe of like you're kind of gathering I'm hearing your senses, gathering your troops so that you can almost like cultivate a comeback season is what I heard, okay? Something to do where it's like as you are spending yourself off in the Seven of Wands energy, it feels like you're cutting certain situations off, certain, I'm hearing like certain dilemmas, certain challenges, certain forces, okay? Because you do stand really firmly in the undercurrents within your hidden influence, like in a very passionate spirit, okay, with this Knight of Wands. It's so crazy to see you go from the Three of Wands to the Seven to the Knight of Wands. This is a true like ascension of your passion, your spirit, your action towards certain things, okay, your willpower, your determination. It feels as though very much so that there's just something in the mist that you're trying to let go. It feels like some sort of toxic relationship, okay? Maybe it's hidden toxicity that you finally are like unraveling is what I'm getting there. Okay. Yeah. It perhaps took a little bit of time to get to this point though. Something to do with overthinking, something to do with having emotional overload. Maybe you weren't able to sleep. Maybe you were, staying up at night. Maybe it has something to do with you kind of like overthinking. It kind of gives this vibe of like, like when you're overthinking. It's giving me like Nine of Swords vibes where it's just like you feel like some sense of anxiety, nightmares at night, just something to do with conflicting thoughts, confliction towards like you unraveling, something like that. Unraveling the truth, okay, is what I'm hearing. Something about you creating space for yourself, which is like allowing you to purge out some of this radical truth. But you're really like standing firm with that Nine of Wands, okay? Something to do with being very passionate, very driven to take action towards something, okay? Ooh, that came out in a very interesting manner. Something to do with treating drama as therapy, okay? Someone was in the background, okay? I'm hearing kind of like hectic energy, maybe a very toxic relationship, very toxic patterns in a relationship. Something to do with like misprocessing things, miscommunications at play, okay? Something to do with your personal growth. People are kind of like almost like siphoning your energy is what I'm hearing, okay? Assuming that you would tolerate that stagnation, but as you were kind of going within, I'm kind of feeling like you're going within your hermit mode for a bit. It's like you pulled the reins back, okay? It feels like you cut them off, you put them out in the cold. You kind of almost like did this at the spare of the moment, is what it sounds like, okay? Something to do where it's like you had to do what you had to do, is what I'm hearing, okay? I'm hearing the words disconnect, okay? Wow, Page of Wands. A lot of wands coming out here. Something to do with a lot of action, okay? You're very curious at this time. You're learning new things. You're taking new paths. It feels like you're more enthusiastic after you've cut these people off. Something to do with people are also questioning why you are unreachable, is what I'm hearing, okay? Why they can't get into your space. I'm hearing people are sweating, okay? Something to do with you just kind of taking your own stride, your own leap of faith, going into the next path forward. Whoa, Nine of Wands. This is such an interesting read. Wow, Nine of Wands. Something to do with this here, Temperance, okay? It feels as though things really do balance itself out into your final outcome. It feels as though something to do with this Nine of Wands, okay? Looking forward and backwards, okay? It's like you know that you took a leap of faith in some regard into your own path forward. It's like you released yourself, you detoxed, you cleansed the energies, okay? But at the same time, it was because of your resilience, but it gave you some sort of fatigue after all of it, okay? Something to do with this like grit and bear it kind of vibe, like a lot of grit behind the scenes. Something to do with as you executed your total clearance from some sort of inner circle, it's like it kind of gave the, I'm hearing like some sort of like, it feels like air being swallowed in. I don't know why, I'm getting the vision of like Kirby swallowing in some sort of energy. I don't know why. It's like you sucked all of this energy in and you like spit it back out kind of thing, okay? It's kind of leaving a sudden void of some kind, okay? It's kind of making them feel a little uneasy. They're realizing that they no longer have a seat at your table. You're building your future up and you're creating this balance, this harmony with this Temperance, okay? Something to do with you kind of just alchemizing the situation, harmonizing. People are not going to be in your good graces, is what I'm hearing, okay? Yeah, you're going to be disconnected from them. They're going to be having existential crises, social anxiety. They might be feeling shame and discomfort about what they did to you. That's kind of like what I'm getting there. Also, something to do with like not feeling like they can contact you or have eye contact is what I'm getting as well. It's such an odd energy, okay? Yeah, nonetheless, they're going to be burning out. They're going to be going through some sort of routine cycle. I'm also hearing something along the lines of just like some sort of through this routine collapse. It's like they're going to have to try to rework themselves, okay? They're going to be waking and working, scrolling, repeat. They're going to be repeating past patterns because you disconnected from them, okay? I'm also realizing I didn't take out another deck, so let me actually get another one out for you. I'm going to do something along the lines of what's the gossip, because I'm super curious, like, what's going on in their, in these people's lives, you know what I'm saying? What's going on with them, because they're going to be burning out. Oh, friend zone's coming out. Okay, something about your ascension. It's like almost as though the universe wants you to know that as you're ascending, it's kind of like making them feel like they got friend zoned, that they got kind of ghosted out, okay? They're feeling a little triggered, having exaggerated panic attacks, thinking about, unnecessary drama, what they could do to spew up unnecessary drama for you is what I'm hearing, okay? They're overreacting about minor events. Like they're trying to text you back is what I'm hearing. Something to do with like their pacing back and forth as they're facing past hurts that they think you did onto them, but really it was the other way around is what I'm hearing, okay? Something to do with like, why does this bother me is kind of the vibes that they're going to be questioning as they think about you. It's like that compulsion of bad decisions kind of like rippling back for them is what I'm hearing, okay? Something to do also with the fact that as they're having these panic attacks, these panic modes, these false alarms, you're just like, you're nowhere to be found is what I'm hearing, okay? Because you kind of purged out that energy. You bounced back, okay, because of your resilience through these setbacks. It feels as though like these are very toxic energies that kind of just wanted your power is what I heard, okay? Something to do with because you were able to catch on to what they were trying to do, okay? You decided to just choose yourself is what I'm getting there in that energy. Wow, we're getting cloud chaser, plastic smiles. So this is somebody who definitely used you is what I'm hearing, okay? Someone with fake kindness, forced friendliness, hiding resentment toward you. I'm kind of feeling like frenemy enemy vibes. So they kind of wanted to be in your midst, but not really like be your like champion. Like I'm hearing like they didn't want to cheer you on, okay? Is what I'm hearing. But they wanted to do anything for attention, fame, clout, okay? They were desperate to latch onto you and kind of siphon your energy. Kind of getting energy vampire vibes. Maybe this might be someone who's a little bit, I don't know, something to do with the ego, okay? Someone who's very self-conscious, self-driven is what I'm getting there too. But because you decided to detach and disconnect, you're now unreachable, all right? The universe has cleared out that dead weight for you, is what I'm hearing. I'm almost getting that you're also in this very much like brighter vibe because things have balanced themselves out now that you can relax, okay? But at the same time, it's like maybe you're curious about what these individuals are doing. So maybe universe just wants to check up on you and be like, hey, this is what's going on in the background. Just want to let you know that you removed yourself from the toxicity and everything that's coming for you in the future is balanced out. It's that feng shui, it's that yin and yang is what I'm getting. It's that harmony, okay? I'm actually gonna pull one more tarot for you just to see what's going on with that temperance because I'm so curious, like what are the next steps going forward for you in that final outcome, okay? Ooh, Ace of Pentacles, we love to see that. So you're gonna be planting seeds of prosperity and opportunity, okay? There's going to be a lot of cool things happening in your midst in terms of stabilizing the energies. This is a beautiful foundation of just growing that spiritual creativity you have, that action, that passion, things like that that you have been traversing through with the wands within your path. So yeah, keep doing your thing, keep detoxing, clear out that energy, clear out your space so you can enter and welcome in new blessings is what I'm hearing, okay? So yeah, these are all the messages that I have for you today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If this reading resonated, consider showing your support by subscribing, liking the video, leaving a comment down below. I truly appreciate it. And until next time, trust your path and let the universe work its magic.